Hi everyone, my name is Breno and I welcome you to the League of Champions training. Okay, the trainings I've done in the past, has touched a lot of people, has been a source of inspiration to a lot of people, and I encourage you to look at them. Just check on my YouTube channel and look at the trainings by the League of Champions, and I know that your life will not remain the same. Okay, these are pathway to personal development and success nuggets in this business. All right, the business of the League of Champions. All right, without wasting your time, today we're going to be talking about overcoming procrastination. This topic is very relevant in our world today, not just in business, but in our personal lives. In our personal lives, we need to develop the attitude of overcoming procrastination, because this is the reason why so many people are bound in one place. This is the reason why so many people are caged in one place. This is the reason why so many people have restrictions in their lives, because they are not able to do the big things they planned. There are some people that the things that they wanted to do for the past 10 years, up to now, they've not done it because of what? Procrastination. Procrastination is one of the enemies of destiny. Procrastination is one of the enemies of progress. Procrastination is one of the things why you're not progressing in your life. It's one of the reasons why you're still in the same place. Okay, so today, or tonight, or whatever time it is where you are, I'm going to be teaching you how to overcome this procrastination. So please listen and go nowhere. And before I proceed, please, I would like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I drop very, very important content and inspiring content, that are going to bless your life, So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video and share it with your loved ones. If you're in this business, endeavor to share it with your downlines, okay, and your team members, because this is really going to be helpful to them. Okay. Now, how do you overcome procrastination? Let's look at this. Okay, develop the habit of eating your frog. First thing every day when you start work. Fortunately, it is learnable. All right, it is a learnable skill that you can get through repetition. You can learn it. It is doable. It's not something hard. It is not a mystery. Okay, we can do it. You can do it. All right, you just need to discipline yourself. You just need to make a decision. That's the most important thing. Make a decision and decide on what you really want to do and do it. Go straight and do it. You trying to do that thing that you've been procrastinating will not kill you. No, I know that at the initial moments when you wanted to do it, or when you want to do it, you don't feel like doing it. All your body physiology, psychology, and everything, are not letting you do it, because they've not been trained to do it. So you need to train yourself to do it. That's the thing. All right, it is learnable. Now, what's your frog? Your frog is your biggest, most important task. It's one you are most likely to procrastinate if you don't do anything about it. Okay? Now, when choosing between two important tasks, start with the most important one first. Very important. Start with the most important one first. And the most important tasks are the ones that will give you profit, like much profit. They're the ones that are going to give you much income. Okay, so start with those ones, right? If you have to eat two frogs, eat the ugliest one. Now, in the previous slide, I explained what frogs are, all right? And of course, the biggest task, the biggest, most important task, you're most likely to procrastinate. Now you have the one that is the biggest, that is bigger than the biggest one, like the bigger than the biggest task. So start with that one. That's the ugliest one. Okay, start with that one, because that one is going to give you more profit. So listen, the more uglier the task, all right, the more handsome the benefit. I don't know if you get my point. All right, let's move. Okay, now there are 6 ways to stop procrastinating and get more things done faster. So I'm going to be teaching you 6 ways to stop procrastinating and get things done faster. Okay. Number one, set the table. Set the table. How do you set the table? Okay. It means like how to set your goals, right? That's setting the table. How to set your goals. Now, how do you set your goals? Decide exactly what you want. It always starts with your decision. It always starts with a decision. If you don't decide to do something, you will never start. There's no chance to start. The chance of starting is slim if you don't decide. So decide what you really want. Write out your goals and objectives before you begin. Write the vision down. The Bible says, write down the vision so that he that reads it will run with it. So write it down. Write it down. Very, very important. Write it down. I can imagine, or I can recall that all the biggest moves I've ever made in my life was bettered out of the things I wrote down. Yeah. Yeah. I am a writer. I call myself a writer. I am a prolific. I'm a prolific writer. When I say prolific writer, I don't mean an author of a book or something. No, I write a lot. If you come to my room, wow, you see a lot of things I've written. I write a lot. I write a lot. Anything I want to do, when I go to a place and I learn something new, I write it down. Even if I learn a new vocabulary, I write it down. In fact, I have a vocabulary book. Yeah. Yeah, I have a book. I have a vocabulary book just for vocabularies. Whenever I learn a new vocabulary or a new expression in English, I write it down. Yeah. And I found out that when I write things down, it sticks to my head and I don't forget it easily. And it kind of set me in motion to achieve them, to act on them. As a student, when I was a student, I was so good. I was the best because I worked very hard. And guess what I do? After studying the normal study, you know what I do? I set an exam for myself, the questions that might likely come out of the things I read. Then I start answering them. I start writing again. I start writing. So that way it is difficult to beat me. If you're somebody who just crammed, it's difficult because I move beyond cramming. I don't just cram. I make sure that I know it. I make sure that I study to know that I know this thing and I can answer it anytime. You get it? I make sure that I know it. So even if I read a definition right now, I'll write it somewhere. I'll write it not just once, I'll write it a couple of times. And I'll make sure that it is here, I recall it. So this is how I do, and that was how I was the best in my school, in my school days. In fact, I'm always one of the best or the best. Okay, so this is very, very important. Write it down. Write down your goals and objectives. Very, very important. Now, the next thing, how to set your table is set a deadline. All right. A goal or decision without a deadline has no urgency. Live with a sense of urgency. The only way you can live with a sense of urgency is to set deadlines, setting deadlines. Set deadlines. All right. If you want to accomplish this before Christmas time, from now till Christmas time, then you have to set a deadline, right? And whenever you look at this deadline, it reminds you that you have no time. That time is that you're running out of time. So you do it. If possible, set it on your clock, on your watch, on your phone. Set a watch or something, an alarm or something, that will remind you about it. Okay, set it. Very important. Okay, set these things. It has no real beginning or end. Okay, set it. Set it. Live with a sense of urgency. Live with a sense of urgency. Decide what you want. As I said earlier, do this exercise alone or with your upline leader. All right. So you can do it alone. And if you feel that it's too bulky for you, or it's too tricky for you, or you don't have the discipline to do it, you want accountability, of course, you can do it with your upline leader. And don't stop until you are crystal clear about what is expected of you and in what order of priority. All right. Set them. All right, set what you want in order of priority. All right, very, very important. And don't forget, you have to eat your frog. You have to eat the ugliest one first. Okay, don't forget what I said about frogs. Frog is that most important, that biggest, most important task that you are most likely to procrastinate. All right. Okay. Now write it down. Think on paper. So as I said, write it down. Think on paper. Okay. Make a list. All right. That's the think on paper. Think on paper. Make a list. Add everything you are going to have to do to achieve your goal. Add the components, the ingredients, the steps, the things you are likely to do, the raw materials, okay, the things that you're going to have to achieve your goals, okay? Make a list and add everything. So as you think of new activities, add them to your list. All right? Then keep building your list until it is complete. So your list have to be continuous. Your list, so it means when you are making a goal, or when you've decided on something and you're creating a goal or you're setting a goal, have let the book you're using be big enough. All right, because think about look at it this way. Think very big. Don't think small. Think very big. Okay, think very big. All right. Now make a plan. Organize your list. Okay, make a plan, organize your list by priority and sequence. When I say priority and sequence, it means like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's the priority? 1 is the priority. So sequentially like that. Sequentially right like that. All right. Do it like that. Follow them like that. Decide what you need to do first and what you can do later. Right? Even better, lay out your plan visually in the form of a series of boxes and cycles on a sheet of paper. You'll be amazed at how much easier it is to achieve your goal when you break it down into individual tasks. Okay, just look at an architect, for example. Look at an architect, the life of an architect. Okay, if an architect doesn't have a design on a piece of paper, and also doesn't have a 3D of his design on a computer, okay, or other diagrams about the design on his computer, do you think he'll be able to direct the builders, the engineers well? Do you think he'll be able to tell them what to do accurately? No, he will make mistakes. But when he put everything like that, it will be easier for him to do them. Okay, so take action on your plan immediately. Do something, anything. An average plan vigorously executed is far better than a brilliant plan on which nothing is done. Execution is everything. Execution is everything. Execution is everything. All right, very important. Very, very important. Review your goals daily. Every morning, start with your biggest frog to achieve your most important goal at the moment. Every morning, start with your biggest frog, as I said earlier. Okay, take action every day. Build this activity into your daily schedule. Never miss a day. So I told you that if you can do this for a month, you see that it will become convenient. So whatever you do consistently will soon become convenient. Whatever you do consistently will soon become convenient. All right. Now, number 2, how do you overcome procrastination? Apply the 80 to 20 rule to everything. Apply the 80 to 20 rule to everything. Now, what's the 80 to 20 rule of everything? To everything. I mean, what's the 80 to 20 rule? Or 80 stroke 20 rule. Now, 20%, the rule states that 20% of your activities will amount for 80% of your results. All right. Okay, 20% of your activities will account, for 80% of your results. Okay. Okay. Often, one item on your list of 10 things is worth more than all the other 9 items put together. This task is invariably the frog that you should eat first. So I don't know if you understand this statement. All right. One item on your list of 10. So 1/10 of the things on your list, the 1/10 of it is what will create the greatest impact. Yeah. And that's the frog you should actually eat first. Doesn't mean that you should not mind about other ones. Of course, you're going to do them, but focus on the frog, the ugliest frog first, right? Focus on that one first. Resist the temptation to clear up small things first. Resist the temptation to clear up small things first. Choose to spend your time working in those few areas that make a difference in your life and career. Spend less and less time on lower value activities. Just look around you, think about your life, think about yourself. Have you in any way been spending time on things that are not really valuable? In fact, so many people even spend time on things that are not even important at all, things that doesn't really matter. So resist this temptation. If you're ever going to be a success in this business or in your life or in anything you do, you have to learn to spend more time on the things that yield the greatest values, the ugliest frog. Okay? Focus on key result areas. Focus on key result areas. Where are you getting excellent results and where are you underperforming? So think about it. Ask yourself this question. All right. So if you've thought about it and you know that, okay, I'm getting better results here. Whenever I do this, my life is better. I'm getting better results. Whenever I do this, I get more money in this business. Whenever I do this, I get more prospect. I get more signups. So focus on that one. Focus on that one. That's the key result areas. Okay. Your weakest key result area sets the height at which you can use all your other skills and abilities. What one skill, if I did it in an excellent manner, would have the greatest positive impact on my business? What one skill, if I did it in an excellent manner, would have the greatest positive impact on my business? All right, so think about it, all right, and follow suit and do it. Number 3 way to overcoming procrastination is prepare thoroughly before you begin. Prepare thoroughly before you begin, all right? Clear off your desk or workspace so that you only have one task in front of you. If necessary, put everything on the floor or on the table behind you. Yeah, I know some people who multitask would argue with this point, but really, listen, guys, if you're ever going to perform excellently in something, right, focus on one thing, take one step at a time, When you have a lot of activities on your table, you'll be confused. Even you'll be confused because you're doing this, you're chatting on Facebook, you're doing this one. Wow. Try to, put the put only one task at the in front of you and do it at a time. That doesn't mean that every day you should only do one task. No, I know that probably you have something you're doing. Probably you're a student and you're a business person. You can actually balance up things, okay? But whenever you're doing this, you have to keep the other ones aside. Like they are mutually exclusive. All right. You should do this one, and so set a time like a timetable. Okay, let me just use this analogy. Whenever you have like students, if you have chemistry, let's say tomorrow is Monday, right? And on Monday you have chemistry, physics, and biology. Okay, is it possible for you to have chemistry, physics, and biology in the same class at the same time? No, it's not going to work. So you focus on the chemistry first. After the time for the chemistry, you go to physics, then biology, and that's how it works, right? That's how it works. So set up your work areas. Set up your work area so that it is comfortable, attractive, and conducive to working for long periods. Okay. Whenever you have tasks, make sure that your table is arranged like, or you have this task here, you have this task here, you have them here in piles. Don't scatter everything together, mix everything together. You're reading physics, you read physics for 5 minutes, you close it, you go to chemistry, you close it, you go to biology. It doesn't work that way. It's not going to work. Okay, so make sure that everything, your workspace is clean, is arranged in such a way that you'll be able to do them sequentially, the way you've planned them on your schedule. All right, very important. And when you're ready to go, assume the body language of high performance. Assume, your posture is very important in the kind of results you're going to achieve. Okay, your posture is very, very important in determining the kind of results you're going to have. Okay, so set your body language, assume your body language at high performance. Sit up straight, just like I'm seated. Sit up straight. Okay, sit forward and away from the back of the chair. Don't feel too relaxed. Put your legs. No, be focused, because your posture determines. There's a way you will sit down and you fall asleep. All right, this is very important. People take these things for likely, but these are very important. And if you're able to do these things, procrastination will be a thing of the past. Then pick up the first item and get to work. Keep going until you finish the job. Okay, keep going until you finish the job. So you do it item by item, item by item. Yeah, you can. It's good to multitask, but guys, it is better, right? It is more beneficial if you do things one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. And doing things one at a time, start with the most important one. What is the most important one? The one that gives you the greatest results. That is your ugliest frog. That is the ugliest frog, and that's the one you should eat. Number 4, way to overcoming procrastination. Identify your key constraints. Identify your key constraints. What one goal, if you achieved it, would have the greatest positive effect on your life? What one goal, if you achieve it, would have the greatest positive effect on your life? The thing is that if you observe your life closely, you would have gone far. You would have gone farther than where you are now. Only if you have been able to achieve one particular goal. They've been this particular goal they've been trying to achieve all these years, but procrastination hasn't let you done that. And procrastination knows. Let's assume procrastination is a spirit. It knows that if you achieve this, then you wave goodbye to it, to procrastination. So it keeps you there. It keeps you there. And this is why we have few successful people and more unsuccessful people. Okay, so sorry, what one goal, if you achieved it, would have the greatest positive effect on your life? Once you are clear about your major goal, ask yourself, okay, once you are clear about, once you are clear about your major goal, ask yourself, what sets the speed at which I achieve this goal? What set the speed? Okay, important. Whatever you have to do, there's always a limiting factor that determines how quickly and well you get it done. There's always a limiting factor. There's always a limiting factor. The limiting factor is like a lid, like a cover. If you're able to move it, then you can see that you will make headway. You start achieving it very fast. Sometimes it requires just a simple push for you to unveil, that to unveil that that abundance, to get into that abundance that you've been dreaming of, that you've been working towards. Sometimes it takes only a push. Sometimes you have to push harder. All right. So this is very important. You have to learn these limiting factors. You have to first understand what are these limiting factors, what are these frictions. Then you get a lubricant for it. You get a lubricant. You have to lubricate your way. And the things I've been saying, these are the lubricants. Your posture, your body language, your priority, the things you start doing. What are your motivations? What do you listen to? Who are your mentors? What are you reading? Who speaks into your life? So all these things are lubricating you. Now it can either lubricate you for success or leave you stuck. Okay. Your job is to study the task and identify the limiting factor or constraint within it. As I said, you have to know. You should know it. You have to discover these limiting factors or constraint. If it's not obvious, make a list of every step in the process. This will help you determine exactly what is holding you back. Now focus all your energies on alleviating that single choke point. If it is not easy, if it is not easily identifiable, if you try to identify it and you don't know what it is, just reflect. Take some time and reflect. Try to sketch some things down, and before you know it, okay, I missed it here, and this was the reason. Whether you like it or not, a lot of times when we don't achieve our goals, most times it is glaring why you didn't achieve it. If you can actually reflect and flash back and draw the process from the beginning, what happened, you'll be able to find out. Okay. And you now focus your energy on on alleviating them, on removing those choke points. Okay. Now, number fifth way to overcoming procrastination is motivate yourself into action. Motivate yourself. The Bible says that David encouraged himself, even when there was nobody to encourage him, even when nobody is there to encourage you, even when nobody is telling you well done. Don't wait for people to tell you well done until you start something. Learn to encourage yourself. I learned to encourage myself. I learned to encourage myself. I am the head and not the tail. I learned to push myself. Even when nobody pushes me, even when nobody loves me, I learned to love myself. All right, motivate yourself into action. Okay, and one of the things that will motivate you into action is when you have a why. When your why is big enough, your why should be bigger than. Most times it is bigger than the how. If you can be able to figure out the why, figuring out the how will become easier. So if you have a big enough why, you know that your dreams are big. Why do I want to achieve? Why do I want to be rich? Why do I want this success? Listen, this will kind of motivate you into action. These things will motivate you. All right. It will release that self-motivational force and energy into you. It will infuse that self-motivation into you, and it will get you into action. All right. Perform at your best. You must become your own personal cheerleader. You must develop a routine of coaching yourself and encouraging yourself to play at the top of your game. Develop it. It is a skill. Develop it. Don't always wait for people. That's why in this business we want leaders. You must be a leader. If you want to blossom in this business, if you want to flourish in your life, you must become a leader. Be your own pastor, be your own prophet. All right? Be your own cheerleader. Learn to speak into your life. Learn to speak positive things into your life. Learn to drive yourself into action. Very, very important, so that you'll be at the top of your game. All right? Don't wait for people to do that for you. Okay? Don't wait for people to pity you. 95% of your emotions, positive or negative, are determined by how you talk to yourself on a minute-to-minute basis. It is not what happens to you, but your perception that determines how you feel. Listen, it is not, you have to become a talking person. Talk to yourself on a daily basis. Talk positive things into yourself. The reason why you have negative problems in your life is because of the words, the negative words you've been telling yourself. Learn to drive yourself. The reality is not what is happening. The reality is what you are saying to yourself. That is the reality. What is happening around you, these are mere feelings. These are mere feelings. They are not who you are. They are not what is happening in your life. Until you accept them by declaring them into your life, then it becomes part and parcel of your life. But the reality is not what is happening, but the reality is what you are saying. Now, I want you to ask yourself, I want you to take a deep reflection. What are you saying? What have you been saying all these years? That is the problem. That is where the problem is. And if you want to get, if you want to start saying things, maybe you've not been saying the right things, you've been saying the negative things all this while, then you have to fix your thoughts. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. It is what you have in your heart that determines the words that comes out of your mouth. So if you can fix your thought, you'll be able to fix your words, then you'll be able to fix your actions. That's how it works. That's how it works. Stop. Okay, sorry. So to keep yourself motivated, resolve to become a complete optimist. Be an optimist. Be positive. Don't be pessimistic. Don't be a pessimist. Be an optimist, okay? Resolve it. Look for the good in every situation. Listen, in every situation, I say, thank God. I learned to serve. I learned to say thank you, Lord, in every situation. I learned to push myself to feel better in every situation. No matter what happens, I know that the way forward is tied to my positive confession, is tied to the things, the positive thoughts that I have at that moment that I can have on my mind for a long period of time. So what happens is that whenever negative things happen, I just push on, because at the end of the day, you have the remote control. You have the remote control to your happiness. You have the remote control to your success. You have the remote control to your joy. You have the remote control to your actions. All right. Seek the valuable lesson in every setback or difficulty. Now, the fact that something bad happened, maybe because of your mistake, the fact that it was your mistake, okay, and it is a bad thing, and you are supposed to think positive and confess, right, doesn't mean you shouldn't reflect, okay, because in reflecting on that, it helps you to know what you did wrong, so that in the future, you'll be able to correct them. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Search for the solution to every problem. Make sure that you solve every problem. I remember, I think when I was a student, whenever we do, I write an exam, and if I fail a question, I try to look for, I'm always keen to know the solution. Oh, why did I fail? After the exam, or maybe I read a particular question, like I know something about the question before I went into the exam hall, and the question came out, but I forgot something along the line. And when I came out of the exam hall, I began to feel like, okay, oh, it looks like I forgot this step. I tried to figure it out because, so that in future tests or exams, I'll be able to pass it. All right. But a lot of people, they don't even care. Once they've come out of the exam hall, they don't care about it anymore. They just, it's not important. Or at the end of the day, we've written the test. Listen, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same result. If you want to have a better result, you have to do something different. Okay. You have to go back and reflect on your setbacks and find a solution to it, then move on, so that you're able to tackle future problems. Now, accept complete responsibility for yourself and for everything that happens to you. All right, take responsibility, take ownership, be responsible, be responsible. Refuse to criticize or blame others for anything. All right, where you are now is not because of your parents. No, it is not because of your parents. It's not because of your boss. No, it is you. The earlier you accept, you realize and accept this, then the faster you move forward out of it. That's the reality. That's the reality. Take responsibility. Take responsibility. Okay? Resolve to make progress rather than excuses. Refuse to be somebody who always gives excuses. Or when people give excuses as to why they didn't come to church, as to why they came late, as to why this one, as to why this one, I'm just going to give an example. Okay, in the choir, I'm a choir member, I'm a worship team member in my church. And so there's this lady, she's part of the worship team. So like, after this Saturday rehearsals, in the morning on Sunday, we're supposed to meet at 9 o'clock to have rehearsals because the church service is supposed to start at 10 o'clock. So we are supposed to have like rehearsals, let's say 1 hour, approximately 1 hour. And she was already saying that after the Saturday rehearsal, she was already saying that she won't make it at 9. And then I was asking somebody was telling me that the reason is because she moved into a new place and her house is far from the church. Then I asked a question. Look at my question. So because her house is far from the house, does it mean that she will be going to her working place late? Okay, and she'll be telling her boss every day that her house is far, this is why she's coming late? No. If you do that for 1 week or for some days, she'll get sacked, isn't it? Yes. But why are we giving this excuse when it comes to church, or maybe when it comes to business, or why? So the thing is that a lot of times priority, I think probably it depends. Maybe her priority is her job or her career. I'm not trying to judge her, but I'm just giving an instance as to how people behave, as to how people think, and as to why people procrastinate. These are the things. These are the reasons why people procrastinate, because they don't actually give priority to these things. So they don't really care. Like, they'll just give excuses as to why they're not doing this. And the excuse is not even valid. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Continually visualize your goals and talk to yourself in a positive way. You will feel focused and energized, and you will become more eager to get started and keep going. So continually visualize. The extent of your vision is the boundary of your blessing. The extent of your vision is the boundary of your earning. The extent of your vision is the boundary of your progress. Listen, let's say, for example, you're walking, okay? You're walking and suddenly you can't see forward. You can't see where you're going forward anymore. Will you keep walking? If you're walking now and you meet a wall in front of you that stops you from seeing the road ahead, like you can't even see the other place, the other side. Is it possible for you to walk? No. First of all, you don't even know what is in the other side. If you say you want to climb the fence, you don't even know. So you must have a clear vision. You must be able to remove those fence, clear those fence away so that you'll be able to see. And the more you are able to see, the more you're able to keep moving. That's why I said the extent of your vision is the boundary of your progress in life. Now, the sixth strategy is develop a sense of urgency. Live your life with a sense of urgency. Live your life with a sense of urgency. Live at the fence. Live at the fence. Live at the fence. Live with a sense of urgency. When you work on high value tasks at a high and continuous level of activity, you enter into a state of flow. You enter into a state of flow. It will get to a point whereby things start flowing because you've mastered the art of working on high activities. You've trained yourself. It has become habitual. It has become a habit. It has become a habit. So I told you that whatever thing you do consistently, you will soon do it conveniently. Whatever thing you do consistently, you will soon do it conveniently. All right. So there'll be this flow, there'll be this ease about it. Okay. Successful people get themselves into this state far more often than the average. They'll get to a point whereby you've mastered this art. It has become part of you. Whenever you wake up, there's a way you play guitar. There's a way you play guitar that even when they wake you up from sleep and just give you guitar to play right on the bed, even when you are not watching the strings, you'll be able to strike all the notes, the keys. You'll be able to play them without even looking. Same with keyboard. There's a point you reach in playing keyboard, that point of expertise, or some particular level that you can play the chords without even looking at the keyboard or the piano. And that's how it is. These things are not magic. You have to keep doing them, practice them over and over, over and over. To trigger flow, develop a sense of urgency. This is an inner drive and desire to get on with the job quickly and get it done fast. Okay? You develop a bias for action rather than talking about what you are going to. Okay? You focus on the specific steps you can take immediately. Listen, don't focus on your experience. Focus on your expectation. Don't focus on what you are going through. Focus on where you are going to. This is the key to developing flow. This is because it removes your mind from the negativity. And whenever your mind is removed from negativity, you see that you feel excited about what you're doing, and you see that there's flow in what you're doing. That burden is removed. That you don't have that burden in you anymore. You see that everything is easy. Okay? Urge yourself onward by repeating the words "back to work" over and over whenever tempted to stop or do something else. Concentrate single-mindedly okay, on a task, and you can reduce completion time by 50%. Let me say it again. Concentrate single-mindedly on a task, and you can reduce completion time by 50%. Very important. Concentrate single-mindedly on the task. Like one task at a time. So concentrate on it. Give your whole energy. Whenever it's like superposition, okay, you are superposition, you are superposing or superimposing. So you do this, okay, they don't exist at the same time. They are mutually exclusive. So you finish task A. When you're doing task A, act like task B doesn't exist. Focus all your mind on task A. When you finish task A, go to task B. Then when you're doing task B, pretend like task A and C does not exist. Then after that, you go to task C. When you're doing task C, just put it at the back of your mind that task A or B doesn't exist, and do it that way. That way, you'll be able to reduce completion time by 50%. Okay. Persistence is actually self-discipline action. The more you persist on a major task, the more you like and respect yourself, and the higher is your self-esteem. It's so exciting when you know that you did something. Whenever I do something, I create something, I kind of feel like beating my chest that, yeah, I did it. I made it. Learn to celebrate yourself so that you have that self-esteem. Self-esteem is very important. Self-esteem is not pride. Okay, self-esteem is confidence. It gives you confidence about who you are, So nobody kind of talks you down. You know who you are, and you're doing what you know you can do, and you're aspiring to be better every day. This is very, very important. Form the habit of putting the pressure on yourself and not waiting for someone else to come along and do it for you. Choose your own frogs and then make yourself eat them in their order of importance. If it's going to work, you have to make it work. If it's going to work, you have to make it work. It has to be you doing it. Don't always wait for people to ginger you. Don't always wait for people to push you. You have to learn to push yourself against all odds. Learn to push yourself against all odds. The standards you set for your own work and behavior should be higher than anyone else could set for you. All right? Be the most hardworking person you know. Be the most hardworking person you know. Okay? Let nobody beat your record. Make sure that you're the most hardworking person you know. Okay? Set that standard. Set that standard. Set that standard. It will increase your self-esteem. If you had to leave town for a month, what would you absolutely make sure you got done before you left? Whatever it is, go to work on that task right now. Okay? Now I'm urging you to do this. Okay? Think about this. Go to task, go back to work, right? Go back to work on that task right now. Set deadlines and sub-deadlines on every task. Once you've set yourself a deadline, stick to it and even try to beat it. I know that we are human. Sometimes let's say you wake up in the morning and you write your own schedule. At this time I want to be doing this at this time. I know that when you go out, some circumstances could happen and one task might be delayed, but make sure that the delay, the time delay is not much. Make sure that you try to do it. You still try to do it. Okay, still try to do it. Okay, still try to do it no matter what happens. Write out every step of a major job or project before you begin. Then determine how many minutes and hours you will need to complete each phase. Schedule blocks on your daily and weekly calendars to work only on this task. All right. So write out every step of a major job or project before you begin. It is very important so that when you're finishing one step, you know the next step. Okay. This is very, very important. Also, have the time frame. Time frame is important. Time frame is important. You know that task B is loading in the next 1 hour, so I must finish task A. Okay, good. The key is to determine the most valuable thing you could possibly do at every single moment. As you're doing this task, make sure you are observing. Make sure you're observing which one is the most valuable, which one is yielding the most results, so that you focus on those ones. All right. And then eat that frog. Okay, eat that frog. Eat that frog. Remember, your frog is the biggest, most important activity you are mostly likely to procrastinate. This is your frog. It is the biggest, most important activity you are most likely going to procrastinate. That is your frog. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening and for staying till this time. God bless you. Okay. And if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I want to urge you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I drop inspiring and powerful content, that are going to change your life. They're going to take you into new realms in your business, in your personal growth, in your spiritual life, and everything, everything, that life can offer. So please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, okay, so that whenever I drop content, you'll be one of the first people to receive updates, okay, or notification. And also like this video and share it with your friends and loved ones. Thank you so much for staying till this time of the training. Okay, and God bless you. See you till next time. Bye-bye.